Mr. Johnson saying, okay, that means stay in line. He's telling the guy behind him and front of him, let's just stay in line and go, go, go. If you put your right hand up and you wave left to right, that means something big is happening in front of you, and it's not good. If you put your hand up and just like in a stopping motion, your right hand, that's telling the guy behind you, hey, pay attention, something's going on up front, just chill out a minute. And there's another hand motion that I can't really explain, but we've seen it a lot on the freeways.
I think we get what you mean. Anybody going to pay attention to a rookie like Johnson giving hand signals?
No. Bobby Labonte looked up.
Obviously not.
He looked up in the mirror and he saw that and said, are you crazy?
Get off my tail, rookie.
Dodge, Ford, Chevrolet, Ford. The top 5 right now. Michael Waltrip's been a big loser in these last couple of laps. Sliding back in that inside lane. We talked about the incredible shrinking spoiler in our pre-race show, the adjustments NASCAR's made to try and make the Fords more competitive this week. They're doing pretty well right now, though again, haven't seen one lead yet.
Well, if they get lined up and they're in the right place right here about 4 or 5 laps to go, you will see one lead because I think they'll all stick together.
Us against the world kind of thing.
Yes.
And again, Ford has led today, but most of the time it was on either an exchange of green flag pit stops or just after a caution flag pit stop when they got off pit road. We haven't seen a Ford under the green pull out and take the lead. Right. Like if Mark Martin were to pull out and pass Sterling Marlin's Dodge here. Now, we should be about 10 laps away from final pit stops. Bill Weber down on pit road. About 10 laps or so till we see what could be some pretty critical stops, huh?
Going to be very interesting to see what happens down here. Obviously, some guys are going to try and push it because they don't want to run out on the back end of this next stop, Alan. But it's about 10 laps away, as you said. It's going to be how you set up your car for the end of this run as well, because that's when it's going to be most critical.
Trouble. Mike Skinner, Shauna Robinson off turn 2. Caution is out.
Okay, now about that pit strategy.
Oh, that's going to make it interesting, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh, man, oh, man.
That completely changes things.
5th yellow flag of the Daytona 500 as Sterling Marlin brings the field back to the caution. Nobody able to get a lap back from the leader. All right, that's 138. 62 to go. Stop with 61 to go.
Yep.
Caution shouldn't be a long one. Everyone's driven away from the turn 2 scene.
The Jack Roush cars might be in pretty good shape.
If they're up. If they're not up, come on in.
Because the 99 car and the 97 were the last cars to pit before. Our crack pit reporters, I'm sure, can find out how many laps they ran.
Let's take a look at what happened to put us under caution off turn 2.
Oh, looks like
Shauna got
Shauna
loose.
just got loose, yeah, and took Mike Skinner with her. And the problem with these cars on a racetrack like this, if you get the cars real close to each other going through the banking, the car on the bottom gets the air taken off its spoiler. See right there? She was real close to the 4 car. And what happens when you're that close, fender to fender, there's no air on your spoiler if you're on the bottom, and you loop it. Unfortunately, took Mike with her.
But again, both cars have driven away and they're back on pit road. We see the work being done to the Shauna Robinson Dodge.
See, the right front tire has gone flat. When you hit the brakes and stop these tires from rolling, they just like sandpaper that grinds a hole right through the tire into the air.
Yeah, there's a lot of asphalt back there where they were sliding.
We've seen it be hard to pass for the lead today. Who gets off pit road first on these crucial stops? Dave.
Mark Martin's car is a little bit tight. He slid past his marks. They have to push him back. This will cost time. They will be just at their fuel window if they pack it full of fuel. He is a little bit tight. They'll make a wedge and tire pressure adjustment as well. Matt.
No adjustments on the 40 car of Sterling Marlin, who was the leader. They feel like, Andy Graves tells me, they will be 3 to 4 laps short on fuel, and he's down and away.
Jeff Gordon just took off, had to dodge the 26. It was 4 tires, no adjustment. He was just a tick tight, but they didn't want to free it up anymore. Marty.
Brian Newman was tied on that last run, Bill. They didn't take a round of wedge out. It'll be 4 tires passed by a whole host of cars on pit road. Sterling Marlin won the race off the pit lane. Did Burns.
Rusty Wallace came in and he got blocked in his pit. They had to push his car back. That cost him time. He was a little bit tight. They adjusted for that. But again, costly time wasted on pit lane trying to avoid another car.
Sterling Marlin's team holds serve. Came on pit road first, came off pit road first. Question is, do they have enough fuel to the finish if we don't get another caution flag? 60 laps to go in the Daytona 500. Good work, guys. You kept your man in the lead.
The 44th Daytona 500 is brought to you by Pontiac. Can you handle a Pontiac Grand Prix? By Kellogg's Cereals, the official breakfast food of NASCAR. By the Home Depot, NASCAR's home improvement warehouse. And by Budweiser, with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer.
At Daytona, the field coming to the 1 to go signal, and I am shocked nobody's coming in to top off the fuel tank.
I am too.
I don't know that it's going to make any difference. I don't know that 2 laps under the caution flag is going to make any difference on making it.
Well, some of the guys in the back of the field think it is. Terry Labonte, Jerry Nadeau, Joe Nemechek, Jeffrey Bodine are coming in to top off the gas. But all of the leaders have stayed out. Jeff Burton and Kurt Busch, 2 of the Roush cars, ran 61 laps on a tank of fuel earlier, Bill.
Yeah, Alan, the guys at the back have nothing to lose, as you know, by coming in. But here's the deal up front. It's just so difficult to pass. A lot of these guys are willing to take the gamble that there will be another caution, or that A, they'll all make it, or B, they all will not. Some of the Fords seem to think they can make it. Some of the Chevys and the Pontiacs aren't too sure. Matt?
Bill, that's exactly the same case down here in the 29 pit of Kevin Harvick. I talked to Kevin Hamlin, the crew chief. I said, are you going to come in and go for a gas and go? He says, I'd hate to give up the track position. We're just going to have to wait and see what everybody else does.
Well, you know, the Roush cars historically get the best fuel mileage, so they're sitting pretty good right now.
And the only thing that's going to hurt them if there's another caution flag, because if there is another caution flag, they'll have to stop and put on 4 fresh tires because the cars are so much better with the newer tires on the car. Dave, what are they saying down in your pits?
Well, I'm with Bill Wilburn. He's a crew chief for Rusty Wallace. Now, it seems to me you've been getting about 50 laps out of a fuel run, but you've got to go 59 now. How come you didn't come in and top off?
We pitted at 62 to go, and with the caution laps and our fuel mileage has gotten a little bit better as the day's gone on. We've tried to free the car up a little bit. I think we'll be okay.
All right, that's a word from Bill. By the way, he's got his helmet and fire suit on. He's still going over the wall changing tires for Rusty.
The key word there being think.
Just past 350 miles.
Sterling got a good start there, didn't he?
Sterling Marlin leads. Kevin Harvick is second. Jeff Gordon is third. Kurt Busch is fourth. Elliott Sadler is fifth. Rest of the top 10 are Bill Elliott, Ward Burton, Rusty Wallace, Michael Waltrip, and Ricky Rudd.
And now Sterling has the lap car of Robert Presley between himself and Kevin Harvick and Jeff Gordon. Is that going to make a difference?
Or will that bite him if they all line up and go by?
32 cars on the lead lap after 350 miles. 11 different leaders, 16 lead changes today. And we've just wrapped up the 5th caution of the afternoon. Bill, talking a lot about strategy. What do you hear?
Well, here's the deal, Alan. Before that caution came out, a lot of guys were looking at going 55 laps. So I did a random survey down here, and the feeling was that you really wanted to be inside that 55-lap window to be sure you could make it. In fact, I asked crew chiefs, if you stop with 55 to go, can you make it? And I got a lot of, yeah, I'm really sure, I think. And now they had to stop earlier than that. So it's going to be a real gamble for some of these guys coming down to the checkers if it stays green.
Yeah, and that's the big if. That's the gamble that a lot of the crew chiefs are betting on, that it won't stay green to the finish. Look at the run Kevin Harvick has.
He's got a great run on Presley. With help from Jeff Gordon, he goes by that lap car.
Robbie Loomis, Jeff Gordon's crew chief, looking on, plotting his strategy. Two-time 500 winner in third place.
And you don't have a chance when you're a lap down. I mean, basically, these guys, you don't exist if you're a lap down in this race. They don't want to run with cars that are lap down.
Autotrader.com sponsors our move of the race. Have you seen the move of the race yet?
I don't think so.
Nope. Think it's still to come?
I think it is still to come.
Best move we've seen so far?
The move with the 40 crew the last time, keeping him out front.
I agree. But we think the best is yet to come. It usually is that way in the Daytona 500. Kevin Harvick started second, fell back into the field. Matt, he's back up to second now.
Well, he's on the move, but the biggest concern down in this 29 pit, Allen, is fuel conservation. Jerry Haley, Danny Lawrence, and Kevin Hamlin have poured over the computer, then walked away, walked back, looked at it again, walked away because it still didn't have the answer they wanted. How much do you think 1/10 of a gallon would cost you today, and how much do you think it would be worth?
1/10 of a gallon could cost him
$1 million.
At least $750,000.
Winner's share of today's race, $1.3 million.
But these drivers aren't thinking about $1.3 million. They're thinking about winning the Daytona 500.
Or conserving fuel. It's hard to conserve fuel. I mean, especially in this deal, you got to keep your foot down. If you start cranking off the throttle to save fuel, you got about 40 guys who are going to pass you.
Elliott Sadler, back in 5th place, has done a terrific job today. The Wood Brothers car started in 41st position, Dave.
And remember, he finished 3rd here in July, last July, Alan, so that 21 car is running very, very well. I talked to Pat Trice and his crew chief. They're a one-car team. I said, well, who do you think will work with you? Because Pat told me they needed help. Well, he says, we hope the guys who build our motors. Those are the Roush cars, and they've been running very well as well.
Talk about Elliott Sadler finishing 3rd in the Pepsi 400. You know, adrenaline is an amazing thing. As he came down to the checkered flag, he said going in turn 3, he got such a rush of adrenaline that he was going to finish 3rd at Daytona. He started trembling, just shaking, going in turn 3 and shook all the way to the checkered flag.
Wow. Not like he's not an excitable guy anyway.
But this place can do it to you.
Bill Elliott, haven't talked much about him. 6th place for that 9 car. 2-time Daytona 500 winner. Bill, solid run.
Solid run and a 14.5-second pit stop last time. Came in 12th and moved to the front with the help of that pit stop. Was a little bit tight, made the adjustment, but the thing here is the 9 car may be half a lap shy on fuel.
That'll hurt. Coming up on the 3/4 mark of the 44th Daytona 500, Sterling Marlin is out in front seeking a 3rd win in the Great American Race.
Well, we really like the styling and the personal safety system.
And that 5-star safety rating is awesome, but...
Well, how about a test drive?
That's a bunch of them. Oh, my goodness. Bust us out there, Sandy. Back at Daytona, a massive accident down in Turn 1 has claimed at least 15 cars.